What if I told you Toothless isn't actually the most powerful dragon in the How to Train Your Dragon universe? Yeah, I know that sounds illegal, because hidden across the movies, TV shows, books, and even deleted lore, there are dragons so dangerous that entire armies avoided fighting them. Dragons that can erase islands, control other dragons, survive impossible battles, and in one case, literally trigger extinction-level destruction. And the craziest part? Some of these dragons only appeared for a few minutes, but were secretly stronger than dragons we've followed for years. So today we're counting down the top 10 strongest dragons in the entire HTTYD universe based on raw power, intelligence, abilities, fear factor, and lore. And trust me, by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why even Toothless would probably avoid that fight. Let's get into it. Number 10. Bewilderbeast. The Bewilderbeast isn't just a dragon. It's basically a living natural disaster. Why it's so powerful, this thing can mind control entire dragon armies, freeze enemies instantly with ice blasts, create giant ice structures, tank insane amounts of damage, rule over hundreds of dragons at once. And unlike most dragons, the Bewilderbeast doesn't fight like a predator. It fights like a king. In How to Train Your Dragon 2, we literally saw 2 alpha dragons clash like kaijus while entire armies stood back because nobody could stop them. But here's the scary part. The Bewilderbeast's biggest weapon isn't strength, it's domination. One roar, and weaker dragons instantly obey. Which means, in a real war, the Bewilderbeast doesn't just bring power, it brings an entire army. Number 9. Screaming Death. This thing was nightmare fuel. The Screaming Death from Race to the Edge and the TV series is one of the most aggressive dragons ever seen. What makes it? Terrifying, massive underground tunneling, near unstoppable durability. Sonic screams powerful enough to shake entire areas. Insane speed despite its size. Pure, uncontrollable rage. Unlike Toothless, this dragon wasn't tactical. It was chaos. The Screaming Death destroyed islands, collapsed tunnels, and attacked literally anything nearby. And honestly, the only reason it isn't ranked higher is because it lacked control. It was basically a walking apocalypse with anger issues. Number 8. Red Death before the Hidden World. This was the monster Vikings feared most. The Red Death was so huge it controlled dragons through fear alone. Why? It dominated gigantic size, massive firepower dragon manipulation through intimidation, incredible durability, could devour dragons whole. In the first movie, entire dragon raids existed just to feed this thing. Think about that. Hundreds of dragons terrorized villages because they were scared. That alone tells you how dangerous the Red Death really was. And even Toothless needed Hiccup's strategy to beat it. In a pure power fight, the Red Death was overwhelming. Number 7. Crimson Goregutter. This dragon doesn't get talked about enough, but lore-wise, the Crimson Goregutter is absolutely insane. Why? It's broken. Extreme physical strength, near impenetrable armor, incredible durability, massive size, raw destructive force. This thing looks less like a dragon and more like a living tank. Even experienced dragon hunters avoided direct fights against it because normal attacks barely worked. And unlike some giant dragons that rely on intimidation, the Goregutter could actually back it up physically. One direct hit from this thing would probably destroy most dragons instantly. Number 6. Death Gripper. Now this dragon is dangerous for a completely different reason. The Death Grippers weren't the biggest dragons, but they were deadly. Why hunters feared them? Extremely fast, venomous tail attacks, highly aggressive, difficult to control, coordinated pack hunting. These dragons were basically assassin creatures. In the Hidden World, Grimmel specifically used them because they were efficient killers. And honestly, a single Death Gripper might lose against larger dragons, but a group of them? That's a different story. They attack relentlessly and don't stop until the target is dead, which makes them one of the most lethal species in the franchise. Number 5. Stormcutter. At first glance, the Stormcutter looks calm and wise. Then you realize it's an absolute monster in combat. Why? Cloud Jumper was insane. 4-wing flight system for unmatched mobility, incredible intelligence, powerful plasma blasts, high battle adaptability, exceptional aerial control. Cloud Jumper could outmaneuver dragons much faster than itself, and because of its unique wing structure, it could pull off movements most dragons physically couldn't. But the real reason this dragon ranks so high? Precision. The Stormcutter fights smart. Every movement feels calculated, and in dragon combat, intelligence can be more dangerous than raw strength. Number 4. Light Fury. A lot of people underestimate the Light Fury because of her design. Big mistake. Why she's so powerful? Cloaking ability, extreme speed, high intelligence precision plasma blasts, advanced stealth tactics. The Light Fury isn't built for brute force. She's built for survival, and honestly, that makes her terrifying. She can disappear mid-fight, reposition instantly, and attack before enemies even understand what happened. In aerial combat, she's almost untouchable, and because she matches Toothless in speed and intelligence, she automatically becomes one of the strongest dragons alive. Number 3. Toothless, Night Fury. Yeah, There was no way Toothless wasn't making top 3. The Night Fury is still one of the deadliest dragons in the entire franchise. Why Toothless is legendary. Insane speed plasma blasts strong enough to destroy massive structures. Echolocation abilities. Stealth mastery. Extreme intelligence alpha mode. Power boost. Toothless isn't just powerful. He adapts. That's what makes him terrifying. Every major enemy he faced forced him to evolve. By the hidden world, he wasn't just surviving battles. He was dominating them. And once he unlocked his alpha abilities, it became clear that Toothless had evolved far beyond a normal Night Fury. But even he isn't number 1 because there are dragons in this universe that operate on an entirely different level. Number 2, Foreverwing. The Foreverwing feels less like a dragon and more like an ancient god. Why? It's one of the strongest dragons ever. Mountain-sized body, entire ecosystems living on its back, immense durability, ancient intelligence, massive environmental influence. This dragon was so gigantic that forests literally grew on top of it. Think about that. It's less of a creature and more of a moving continent. And because of its age and scale, the Foreverwing represents something bigger than combat power. It represents nature itself. Most dragons wouldn't even be capable of hurting it. Number 1, the Purple Death. This thing is pure nightmare fuel. The Purple Death from the expanded HTTYD lore is arguably the most overpowered dragon in the entire universe. Why? It takes number 1. Larger than almost every dragon ever seen. Capable of massive destruction. Extremely intelligent. Nearly unstoppable durability. Alpha level dominance. The Purple Death makes the Red Death look small. Yeah, that's how insane it is. Entire areas could be wiped out if this thing fully attacked. And unlike some giant dragons that rely purely on size, the Purple Death was smart, which makes it infinitely more dangerous. Honestly, if a fully evolved Toothless fought the Purple Death alone, there's a very real chance he loses. And that's exactly why this monster deserves the number 1 spot. So yeah, the HTTYD universe is way more terrifying than most people realize. Behind all the emotional moments and beautiful flying scenes, there are dragons powerful enough to destroy civilizations. But now, I want to know your ranking. Which dragon do you think deserves the number 1 spot? And more importantly, do you think Toothless could actually defeat the Purple Death at full power? Comment your theories below, and if you enjoy the video, subscribe for more how to train your dragon lore, theories, hidden details, and powerful dragon breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.